Hey, it's Kasim with your Daily Google News, and I'm here with my buddy Mark de Grasse. Mark is the general manager of DigitalMarketer.
Yep.
Did I get that
General
title
manager.
right?
GM. Well, I say president GM. A lot of people
President
don't.
and GM at DigitalMarketer. That's a really big gig too. I mean, to come in and just sort of take that over, that feels daunting to me.
Oh, easy peasy. Actually, what's funny is I was originally going to go in as the content executive for Scalable to like run all of the content marketing for all the brands. And then they decided to like reform Digital Marketer. And I've been a part of a few different like executive teams. So it's kind of like, I'm like, oh yeah, I could do that too. Why not?
This brand new hat. I'll just take this over. That's cool, man. I remember when you and I first met, you were explaining your vision and just how you're going deep into content. And what I thought was really interesting about it is you started espousing the need for high quality content before iOS 14 really hit and anybody knew what was going on, before the privacy first, before Google's core update. And now the whole rest of the world is content first, but you've been kind of, playing this tune quite a bit sooner than anybody else that I've seen. So I just want to say, like, your prophetic tendencies were right on point.
Oh, it's just something I like.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with like, this will eventually be a thing. I think I wanted it to always be a thing because I started doing content back in like 2005. I had a fitness magazine at a gym. And what I found was when I went online, I couldn't find any information. Like all I wanted, I wasn't in fitness. Like wanted to get back into shape after, doing it for college sports and whatnot. And I had a friend who's like, okay, here's the workout plan. Send me a list of exercises. And I tried to look up the exercises online. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, why are there 50 ways to do a push-up? And why are there 50 ways to do a squat? And there's no names, there's no structure to it. And that bugs the crap out of me. So I was like, oh, why don't we just set up a website where we say, here's what a push-up is with the video. Like, no, revolutionary,
Right.
And so I was like, I just want a list. I want to be able to search stuff easily. And so I came up with that. And then I found that nobody was doing it. And then I was like, oh, well, fitness was so flexible and marketing is kind of similar where there's so many terms out there and everybody has different definitions. So I said, if you have one organizing body that can actually define the terms and say, this is the way you do this thing, then they'll be the authority just because they took the time to be the authority. So that's how the whole content thing does, kind of went. And I really just enjoy organizing information. So it just fit. And I'm like, this is great. I have all the content up. And then I found a list of professionals that didn't really know how to publish content. And I was like, oh, well, you have the fitness knowledge. I have the ability to distribute that knowledge. We'll just work together and I'll promote you. You give me content. I organize it. You get leads and whatever you want from it. Good to go. So that's kind of where the whole concept came from. And then just my ability or my neurotic need to structure information. And I'm like, this works. And then nobody cared. So it was all this work happened. And then when I sold my company to Audit Labs and formed their academy, like their content base essentially. And then after that, I wrote a book about the process. And then my intention was really to set up Digital Marketer. And that was like 2015. I set up the Mega Mad Institute. And everybody I was trying to teach kept on saying like, well, could you just do it for me?
Do it for me. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get sucked into being an agency owner. And then 6 years go by, and then you work at Digital Marketer. That was, easy peasy. That's how it went.
It's funny, man. We started trying to play in the course place just because I was like, oh, info is so scalable. We can just sell the info. But everybody who bought the course was just like, hey, can you just do this? I'm like, but I just told you exactly how. Like, and then trying to keep up with the changes became damn near impossible.
It's kind of like, and that's where I came. I mean, I had a more altruistic view for my agency. I was like, you know what? There's all these small business owners, there's doctors, there's attorneys, there's all these professionals out there that should be worried about being professionals, but they have the knowledge, and all the knowledge you find online is actually created by marketers. So I was like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show these professionals how to do the marketing, and then they'll fix the internet with good information. And that was stupid. because no business owner, no professional who's busy wants to do that stuff. And so that's where Digital Marketer came around, where I'm like, oh man, I get to work with marketers. They love this stuff. They'll get the content from, the small business owners, and we'll fix the internet together. And it's sort of working.
Yeah, you're
but
getting there.
get it there. Like it's better, I think. But the tech's kept, catching up. So it's all kind of coming together at the same time. I'm like, oh, this is kind of like I planned this, even though I didn't. And I ride a wave of chaos that I try to ride and stay up. And that's kind of my life. So
It's funny, man, because the being a thought leader and then just the distillation of information are two entirely different skills that are generally juxtaposed. Like the guy or gal who's cracking the code doesn't want to then sit down and break down how it's done.
mm-hmm.
So, merging those two, me and my business partner are like that. I'm supposed to be a Google Ads authority. I just listen to what he says and I regurgitate it because he doesn't want to. Every time I'm like, oh, John, we should shoot a video on that. He's like, yeah, but he's just too busy to do it. And so, we've partnered really well there.
No, that's kind of how I was too. Cause I always tell people like, I don't even like fitness. Like, I think it's necessary. It's something I consider it like brushing your teeth. Like you have to brush your teeth. It's not something you enjoy doing. You just do it because you should be doing it. That's how I always looked at fitness. And so my goal was always like, what's the minimum I have to do to be in shape? The bare minimum. But it's totally different from my business partner at the time with Jim, where he's obsessed with fitness.
Right.
I grew up as a chubby kid and then I got not chubby and now I show other people how to get not chubby. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Right. Can I just organize the information and I'll shoot the videos and I'll build the website, I'll do all this stuff. But you need that person. You need the person who's super passionate and you need the person who organizes and distributes. And you could have that person be the same person. And you'll see it with some YouTubers are like that. But a lot of times it's like, people have roles and that's totally fine. What do you enjoy doing? What are you going to do consistently and often enough to be successful? And that's what, that's really what everybody's trying to find out, whether they realize it or not.
Yeah. Success is found through repetition. That was a hard lesson for me to learn as a young entrepreneur.
Oh, you just want that. You just see that. I still remember the ads even back in the 2000s where it's like, oh, make 10,000 a month writing content or publishing articles or whatever it was. And then you find out like, oh no, that was an advertisement. They're not going to show me crap. I'm going to have to learn this stuff.
You actually have to do it. So let's talk about that for a minute, because Digital Marketer has a really amazing program called the Digital Marketer Partner Program, Certified Partner Program,
Certified
DMCP.
Partner. CP.
Yeah. And I'm a DMCP. I have been since I think 2016, maybe earlier.
Oh wow, that's OG.
Yeah. Well, I remember when they sold it. Right, I was in a room at TNC. They brought us upstairs and they fed us lunch. And then Ryan got on stage, and I was expecting like this crazy hard pitch. And he gets up and he goes, "We really don't know what this is. We don't know what we're gonna do. We don't know how we're gonna do it, but we know it's gonna be awesome." And I guess so many people were asking him for a partner program. He goes, "Look, I'm rolling it out because you asked for it." And it was a significant amount of money for me at the time. I remember thinking like,
it was 10 grand or something.
It was 10 grand. I had to pay 10 grand and it was up front. There was like no payment plan.
Yeah.
They were just like, we want 10 grand from you and we're not going to tell you what it is. But I really have always just been really inspired by Ryan. I as an entrepreneur, I really respect him. Yeah. And so
that's such a testament for Ryan, because it's like, not just respect him, but you trust him and you look at him and you're like, you know what? That's a good guy. He's not going to screw me over.
He's going to make good on this promise, is how I felt. Yeah. Like, and more to the, what's funny too about that time is, man, I was so stretched. My agency is called Solutions 8 because we had eight core service offerings. And so I was doing SEO and video and graphics and web and software and PP and content. And I was just like bursting at the seams. I had no systems, no processes, no peer group. And I was so desperate for help. And so I joined this partner program, and I can't tell you, it wasn't like, like all of a sudden the next day, everything came but it was everything that I needed over time. It was this phenomenal peer group. And dude, the people that were in the partner program were just like Dave Albano, the godfather of freaking digital marketing, Frank Cowell, Scott Cunningham. I'm going to stop naming because I'll miss people, but like, it was a who's who all in their early stages. And then it was frameworks. It was like, hey, here's, and the ability to ask other people questions. And so like, I didn't really start to niche down until we joined the partner program. And that's how we got to where we are now. And so I'm just such a freaking advocate for it. I think that it's maybe the most important thing that I had done in my professional career, joining the partner program. And, if somebody's watching this, I don't want them to feel like the DMCP is the only thing out there. What I would say is spend some money, get around peers. That was the really big thing for me. But the DMCP, like it's already there, it's already there. It's already
Yeah.
tenured. It's already kind of, y'all have cracked the code. So I don't know. I mean, not to go full on sales pitch, but let's go full on sales pitch, man. Like, what is it? Why is it important? Why should people join?
So the certified partners, essentially what you're doing is licensing the digital marketer IPs, and the digital marketer IPs, the customer value journey, customer avatar, there's a whole grip of them, are built out of, the founder's experience with hundreds of thousands of marketing agencies and professional marketers. If you talk to Ryan or Richard or Roland, like look at their Rolodex of who they know. It's like everybody. Anybody who's ever been in marketing, like it's incredible. And so what they did was they came together, right before that meeting that you were talking about back in 2016, and said, hey, what can we do for agencies? Like, how can we make agencies, give them the tools they need to succeed? And that's kind of where the certified partner came from. Like, how can we implement these and help people implement these, frameworks to their people? Because at the end of the day, digital marketer is an educational institution. You can't hire a digital marketer to do your marketing, but you could hire one of our certified partners to do your marketing. So while we're busy teaching everybody the frameworks and organizing all this content, you could now get the stuff done by professionals that are licensed to get the stuff done for you. And, for agency owners, the big thing is it takes away all the guesswork out of developing your agency. Because if you've had an agency before or even tried to sell, individual services as an independent contractor, it's hard. It's super difficult. There's a lot of stress in it. You learn about sales, learn about your own marketing, learn about execution, learn about scaling, learn about exiting the business. And if you're trying to do it on your own, there's a good chance you're going to fail. And nobody wants to hear that. They always say like, oh no, I'll be the 5% that makes it. But this just takes that number and just makes it so much more likely, because not only do you get the frameworks that are going to make you successful, you're now part of an organization of people, 500 other agencies that are doing the same thing as you, that now you could ask for feedback and they'll be happy to provide it. And you're not alone. Because at the end of the day, like if you're a small business owner, you feel alone a lot.
Dude, all the damn time. There's nobody you can talk to. Yeah.
No, nobody gets it. And you can't complain to your family or your wife or your friends because they don't get it. And then you end up being alone. And so this is the ability to, one, start with a framework that has been proven over and over again. And then two, not be alone, be with a group of peers who are just as committed to success as you are. And on top of that, you have a big organization, digital marketer, that's pushing you out there. They're providing the marketing component that you might not have at all. Like with my agency, I was 95% referral. So my marketing system wasn't anything really. It was just take care of people and do a good job and people send you business. That's not really a business model. That's you own a job. If you want to have a business model, why not just take something that's already existed with a bunch of people who are already doing it and then just do it yourself? Because there's tons of work out there. There's no, even if you're a big organization, Solutions 8, is there a capacity limit to Solutions 8? If 5,000 businesses walked in the door, and there's plenty more than that tomorrow, could Solutions 8 facilitate that?
It's such a phenomenal point from a marketing
it would be hard.
Yeah. Well, so I've made this point to somebody before too. You could choose a niche. I'd pick one: dry cleaners, nail salons. I could build 1,000 agencies off of that one niche. Because you think about, every provider in every city on every country in the planet. And it's just, there's this well runs so deep, you know what I mean? Like it runs so deep, and it's as of yet still kind of undiscovered territory. Like we're still like
it's wild
blue
west.
ocean. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You could do anything you want. And if you have a system, which is what digital marketer provides, you could always innovate the system. You could change the system. You could not be a CP anymore, do whatever the hell you want. That's fine. But you started with a framework and now you understand the importance and value of a framework. And now you can build off of it, do whatever you want to do. And like you were saying, that there's a million niches out there. You could specialize in literally anything you want. And you might be the only one doing it, because there's like a billion industries that you could focus on, and a billion niches within those industries that you could focus on. So, it's really unlimited. And that's the hard part, because everybody sees like, I don't know how to get a sale. And they're like, well, what do you sell? you
Right.
know. And most people, even within the CP, I have the conversation all the time about niches. I'm like, okay, well, what's your niche? Oh, I don't really have one. I help 20
Everybody.
industries. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you don't. You don't
Yeah.
help 20 industries. You help one business in 20 industries. That's not 20 industries. So, and you might not be doing that good, that great a job of it. So it's almost like, you know, sometimes you feel like a parent where you're like, okay, I'll let you find out yourself. But at the end of the day, you're gonna come back and be like, yeah, I should have done that sooner. And that's fine. You have to learn. But luckily with, CP, you have a bunch of people who you could talk to about it. And we could hook you up with other specialty, not just that, but you could partner with these people. Like if your best, trade is doing SEO, but you have a client that also wants paid ads and, whatever else, social media marketing, then we could hook you up with a partnership with them. And since you're part of our network, that person's not going to try to steal your client. They're not going to try to, take over your business because you're one of them. So it's kind of a ecosystem of marketers that we train and then help you grow. And, and if you do great, fantastic. You could be a course creator for us, or you could be in a certification, or you could be, whatever you want. So that's the fun part with digital marketers. Just like there's so many things that you could do within this community, and you don't have to be alone.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's really well said. What is it, if you don't mind me asking, nuts and bolts? Like you sign up as a CP, what do you get? What does it cost? What's the timeline look like?
So we try to start people off on like a 30 to like 90-day program. The important part is that you do the master class. So we have a certified partner master class where you're going to learn all the frameworks, and then you'll get into whatever else you want to execute. You actually have access to all certifications. And so you could train your people within the frameworks that we have using our certifications. Plus you get the agency course, which is what CP is, and all the frameworks within that. And then you instantly get access to the community. We just have a Facebook group where everybody chats, the email list, the back end of Academy, which actually lists all the courses that you need to take. Then after you're kind of in the system and you're qualified, then you get added to our directory at digitalmarketer.com. And then you could come to our certified partner training days, which are quarterly, where we actually have our best CPs kind of get up and give their hottest tips essentially for 8 hours during that time. And then we also have like weekly meetings where you could learn more about specific aspects of marketing, whether it's paid ads or, again, content marketing or any other aspect of systemizing within your business. Because that's where really what we're doing now is called the Agency Scale Accelerator, which you spoke at last week, which was fantastic. And it's actually showing people how to scale your brand within 90 days or launch a fractional CMO service within however fast you want to get the courses done. So it's almost like, choose your own adventure, but still based on the frameworks that we know work.
Yeah,
So
proven models.
Mhm.
That's just funny, man. So many entrepreneurs are like, oh, I want to figure it out myself. And it's like, well, you can, and you probably will, but like it's, 3 years to 3 months, let's just condense this timeline, go follow the folks that have done it before. You don't have to do it the way that they're telling you to do it, but know the rules first before you break them. And again, that's a lesson that I learned the hard way. And it took me way too long.
It's just like a personality trait for entrepreneurs, because I'm the same way. I'm like, man, why did I try so hard for so long on things that were figured out? Like it's just pointless. No, you don't get extra credit. There's no extra money. Like, oh, well, you did it yourself. So
pat on the back,
double the revenue. Yeah, pat on the back for you. Good job. But most of the time it's like, who cares? Like, just get started. This will go way faster. You don't have to build the house. You just have to buy the house, and then you could modify it however you feel like.
Right.
And that's it. So that's kind of what it's like, a cheat code for having a successful agency. And it's, the price, if you are making no money, it could feel significant. But in terms of like, how many clients does it take to pay for your CP membership? Like one.
What does it cost, Mark? Are you allowed to share that?
Yeah. So it's $5,000 up front. That's essentially the setup, for getting you into the system. And then you have $500 a month for as long as you're a part of the network. So
So here's what's interesting. I paid double that. I paid 10 grand.
yeah,
So it's gone down since
it's
then.
good.
But man, it's just, everything that you named, all the certifications worth more than 5 grand for sure. The
Oh,
ability
yeah.
to join that Facebook group, like that thing is super active too. I don't want to diminish or dismiss that. There's a ton of people in there and they're really responsive. And then those partner training days, that's a value packed day. You're going to be drinking from a fire hose. I remember those. There's
Yeah.
one coming up in September in there.
Yep. Yeah, it's every quarter. We actually just had ours in Austin 3 weeks ago. And so that was probably the best ever. We did a marketing competition, which I thought was a lot of fun. So we'll be keeping that around. We have the top marketer. We made a little plaque, just fun stuff. I mean, that's really what you'll find with the certified partner community is they're all fun. They're all engaged. They're all super interested in learning. And that's actually, and the lack of ego is so refreshing because especially with marketing, I'm not saying that there's a bunch of egocentric marketers, but it's almost like if you're going to be that guru level, you have to kind of be a dick.
Yeah.
You gotta be like, yeah, like, oh, I figured it out and now I fly around in a private jet and whatever. And I'm like, oh God, I don't care about that stuff. Like it's I mean, I do, I guess that's neat, but it's just such a sales piece that I'm like, yeah,
I'm with
money.
you. Yeah.
Like, it's great.
Yeah, no, I think you guys have really crafted a solid culture with the DMCP specifically. What do people do if they want to sign up? Where do they go?
Oh yeah, so it's just digitalmarketer.com. We have a whole section for certified partner. Really the first step is just talk to us. You could technically just sign up on the website, but chances are you'll want to talk to somebody. We have a webinar that you sign up for, watch the webinar, and then you'll learn about all the really specific aspects of certified partner. But there's just so much you could do. It's almost like we can't even list it all on the website of the things that you'll get out of the program. But once you see look at the database of all the other marketers that are already part of the network, and then, watch the videos and you'll learn, or check out anything on Ryan, because if you watch any of Ryan Dice's videos, that's what we teach. There's like zero secrets. Like you are actually learning the stuff that built Digital Marketer from nothing into what it is now. And it's just it's just there. It's pretty incredible because it's, especially because with the fitness industry that I came from, everything was so closed. Like, oh, I have this product or I have this system and I have this, and nobody wants to share it. Like, this is mine. I don't want anybody to copy it. And this is the exact opposite of that. It's like, no, here's what worked for me. I hope it works for you too. Oh no, it didn't work. Okay, we'll find out something else. Let's go talk to some other person. Oh, that works for you. Okay, great. Let's bring it in. Let's try it. Here's some case studies. It's just it's a learning community. It's what you wish every educational institution was, but they're incapable of doing it because things move too fast and it's too structured. We're like it's like a tribe, How's that going? Oh, that's going great. Can you show me? Sure. Like you watch any of the certs, like the e-commerce cert that we just did, and you have Scott just giving like gold in terms of how he, generates millions of sales for all these different, small businesses on Shopify. And it's not about this fancy tech. It's not about even the product necessarily. It's about how you sell and how you build the website and how you build the marketing plan. And it's there. You just watch the stuff. You don't have to go through 10, 15 years of struggle. You could just watch these things, implement, done. That's always the best stories when somebody's like, yeah, I just watched the thing and then I did the thing and then it happened and now I'm successful. It's like, oh, that's nice. That's a good feeling. That's the best feeling. Well, it's just like, great. That is so good for you. I'm so happy for you.
That's awesome.
And what's funny is you'll see that, like, even the people, because I, again, coming from fitness, it's so competitive and so kind of cutthroat. And here it's like, you will have employees leave and they'll start new businesses and technically become our competitors. And I'll ask Ryan and Richard, I'm like, oh, well, what do you think of that? They're like, oh, it's so good for them. They're doing so great. I'm like, but they were working for you. And that's not how they think at all. It's just like, yeah, that was good. They worked for us. And now they're successful. And that's great. I'm like, that's a unique thing. You don't get that in most businesses or industries. Like, it's super cool. And that's,
Yeah.
you know, that's why I'm here. That's good people.
Total abundance mentality. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks for telling us about it. If you're watching this, go to digitalmarketer.com, check out the partner program, reach out to Mark if you're interested, you want to join up. I shoot a video every day. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, buddy. Wait, before you go, I'm constantly looking for amazing people to come join our team. So if you're passionate about Google Ads and you're passionate about customer success, please go to solate.com/apply. And we'd love to see you as a part of the Solutions 8 team. Also, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. It lets the YouTube algorithm know that we actually know what we're doing. And don't forget to subscribe. We shoot a video every single day, and I don't want you to miss out on any of it. Lastly, if you have questions, comments, concerns, confessions, or you just hate my face and my voice, go ahead and hit us up in the comments. We get very little human interaction, and even the heckling is something that I kind of get a kick out of. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being subscribers if you're a subscriber. Don't forget to apply if you're interested in working at Solutions 8. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow.